Hello and welcome. Good evening and thank you for joining tonight's Future Makers Awards 2021 event, coming to you live from the RDS in Dublin. I'm presenter and activist Emer O'Neill and I'll be your MC for this evening. I am absolutely delighted to be here with you all. We have a great night in store for you, but before the excitement begins, let me share how you can get involved on social media. You can tag at DCC Ireland on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, and the hashtags for the awards are hashtag DCCI Future Makers and hashtag Future Makers 2021. And now I want to give you a little bit of background on the Future Makers programme. It was established in 2009 and it is one of many programmes at DCCI, which stands for Design and Crafts Council Ireland. The programme supports and invests in the next generation of talent at a crucial early stage in their career. It includes a range of supports and awards, and it is also the qualifying competition for the annual RDS Crafts Awards. That is not all. All shortlisted makers' works are celebrated on the Future Makers website, promoted through DCCI's communications channels, and will be showcased here tonight. Previous winners have gone on to have extremely successful careers, which is why being recognised with this prestigious Future Makers Award or support is a huge honour indeed in any emerging maker's career. Over the next hour, we will hear from DCCI's CEO, Rosemary Steen, followed by an address by Minister of State, Damien English TD. We will then speak to Dara O'Leary from the RDS, along with previous Future Maker Elish Murphy, before asking one of our judges, Francis MacDonald, to say a few words about the judging process and those that have been shortlisted. We will then move on to the moment that you have all been waiting for, the announcement of the winners by DCCI's chair, Andrew Bradley. I will now hand you over to Rosemary Steen, Chief Executive of Design and Crafts Council Ireland and our host for this evening's event. Rosemary, it is great to have you here. I know you are so excited about tonight's event.
Oh, we're absolutely delighted. It's great to be here at the Future Maker Awards, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all here this evening to our 12th annual Future Makers Awards. What a great way to start the year with an event that celebrates those looking to start out in their career. The Design and Crafts Council Ireland is proud to support this time in the career of emerging makers and students through the Future Maker Awards programme. As set out in our new 5-year strategic plan, programmes such as this help raise our sector's capabilities and capacity. Our vision is to increase the contribution of craft and design to Ireland economically, socially and culturally by 2030. Our mission is to do this by supporting designers and makers to develop their businesses in a sustainable way and by promoting the benefits of craft and design. One of the ways we do this is by offering more education opportunities at all levels. We will seek to collaborate with partners leading in the appropriate fields to do so. In fact, DCCI have already made strides in this remit. In 2021, we announced our exciting partnership with Galway Mayo Institute of Technology that sees the renowned jewellery and goldsmithing and ceramics skills courses elevated to a level 8 degree. Many of you in attendance here this evening are part of the fabric of the design and crafts sector. You already understand the value of our sector and that it brings to the economy through employment, growing exports and supporting tourism. But the resilient growth of this sector can only continue to flourish by us ensuring that emerging makers are supported at this critical stage of their careers. The work by all of those who entered Future Makers conveys the richness of the talent, creativity and drive of this generation. The training you have received from your tutors and mentors gives you the foundation to succeed. Programmes such as Future Makers and the many others offered by DCCI to support your development and career journey give you the tools to progress. Those craftspeople among us know that financial investments provide time for creativity and innovation. Not only does time benefit the maker, but it also pushes the boundaries of their skills. This preserves the community and heritage of Irish craft and design as a whole, and this is really at the heart of DCCI's strategy. We aspire for you as makers to pursue your ambition. It takes courage to choose what can at times be an unclear path while needing to earn a living. With Future Makers, we hope to make it easier to help you take that route, to help you get through the stages, early stages, and to where you're seeing the return. In short, this pipeline of makers is our sector's future, and they must be supported and protected. But judging by the calibre of applicants, this sector's future looks bright. We received a huge number of applications across several disciplines, including ceramics, textiles, furniture design, jewellery design, goldsmithing, metalworking, fashion design, and silversmithing. Those who applied should be very proud of themselves. The standard was really very high. Testament to the importance of the Future Makers is the partnership with the RDS Crafts Award, which Dara will discuss in detail later. But I would like to take this opportunity now to thank the RDS for their continued support. It's very important. I would like to thank the colleges for supporting this programme as well, and our judging panel. And I would also like to thank the Department of Enterprise, Trade and Employment, who generously support this programme through our colleagues in Enterprise Ireland and indeed all of DCCI's activity. Finally, on behalf of my colleagues at DCCI, I would like to wish the shortlisted applicants the very best of luck. We hope to work with you in the future, continue to support you through your career with initiatives such as this one. If you're a maker and you're not registered with DCCI, I would encourage you to do so through our website. We are innovating and growing, and your support really matters. I hope you enjoy the evening, and I'll now hand you back to our wonderful host, Emer. Thank you, Emer.
Thank you so much, and such wonderful words. There is so much support there. Really, Rosemary, thank you very, very much. And it gives us that insight into the importance of this programme. Future Makers is a great platform for emerging makers. And as Rosemary said, this is the generosity, and it's supported by the Department of Enterprise, Trade and Employment. I would like to now welcome Minister of State Damien English, TD, and ask him to please address us this evening. Welcome, Minister, and thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Emer, and thank you to yourself and Rosemary for inviting me to address the awards this evening. First of all, I want to say hello to everybody. I'm delighted to be able to join you all for this, the Design and Craft Council of Ireland's Future Makers Award 2021. The Department of Enterprise, Trade and Employment has been proud to support the Future Makers Awards and supports programmes since it was established back in 2009. As Minister of State for Business, Employment and Retail, I'm aware of the significant economic contribution provided by the design and craft sector all over Ireland with a very strong regional spread. This contribution is highlighted in the economic report of the design and craft sector of Ireland, which was published in the latter half of last year, and it illustrates how the craft and design intensive sector is an engine for economic growth. It clearly states that if the craft and design economy were considered to be only one sector, it would be the 8th largest in Ireland by number of enterprises, but more importantly, the 10th largest by number of employees. So therefore, it shows the potential that the craft and design intensive sectors could provide up to 100,000 employees and have a turnover of almost 14 billion by 2026 if the current shortages of craftspeople and designers is addressed. This raises the need for programmes such as Future Makers to continue to provide financial supports, while in tandem highlighting that a career in the craft and design sector is a viable option. The Future Makers programme is one of the largest prize-funded award programmes in Europe, with a total prize fund this year of over 25,000. So by providing much needed financial support at a crucial point in the career of emerging makers and students, not only does this initiative support makers financially, but it also provides them with a platform that acts as a much needed stepping stone from training into enterprise. So as we all know, and know too well, the last 2 years have been extremely tough, particularly on students, and particularly on those who are starting out in their careers, which is why it's more important than ever to continue programmes like this that recognise, celebrate and support their talent, potential and creativity. Over the years, this programme has proved to be a great success, helping to elevate the careers of so many. And I'm proud to say that we can boast a long list of previous winners who've gone on to make a name for themselves in the world of design and crafts, both at home and internationally, and we'll hear from them later. It's critical that we support emerging makers to ensure that we continue to have a healthy pipeline of makers in Ireland. And so to that end, I want to thank everybody who continues to make this programme the success that it is, including Rosemary and our team at DCCI, as well as the judging panel. And finally, I want to wish all those who are shortlisted the very best of luck. The calibre of talent across the shortlisted is commendable. And I look forward to seeing what the future has in store for you and to working with you in the years ahead. So again, just to finish, I want to thank everybody and now hand you back to Emer.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Minister. And I cannot agree with you more. The pipeline of Irish makers is crucial. And it really is great to understand the value of the sector and how supported Future Makers really is. Now, next I'm joined by Dara O'Leary, Arts Programme Manager here at the RDS. Dara, how are you doing and welcome?
Great, thanks. Thanks for having me. I'm delighted to be here this evening representing the RDS.
It's great to have you. Now, give me an idea of what the RDS Craft Awards and how it links with Future Makers.
Sure. So, well, Future Makers is the qualifying competition for the RDS Craft Awards. So, the annual RDS Craft Awards offers 5 €10,000 awards for emerging craft makers and designers who want to pursue a professional career in the sector. So in addition to the money, winners also get a free stand at Gifted, the Contemporary Craft and Design Fair, which takes place here in the RDS every December. This gives them an opportunity to show and sell their work directly to the public. Last year, we also added 6 hours of targeted mentoring with a craft professional to the prize mix. So between the cash, the free stand and the mentoring, what we're offering is a really unique and targeted range of supports. As mentioned earlier, Future Makers is the qualifying competition for the RDS Craft Awards, and it really makes sense for us to partner with the Design and Crafts Council on this, because what Future Makers offers us is a high quality long list of really talented emerging makers who've already been through a tough competitive process and now have the chance to apply to the RDS. So since 2018, 20 early career craft makers have won an RDS Craft Award. Another 5 will of course be announced in April from amongst tonight's Future Makers winners, so best of luck to everybody. We're now going to watch a short video featuring one of our former winners, which will give you a sense of the positive and potentially transformative impact that winning can have on career progression and profile. So Elish Murphy won a Future Makers Award in 2019 and an RDS Craft Award in 2020. She's an artist and a bookbinder, making handmade and limited edition books and boxes from her studio in County Clare.
My name's Elish Murphy. I'm an artist and bookbinder. I make handmade and limited edition books. I love craft. I love older crafts. I love that I'm a bookbinder, that I bring back to life these really, really old techniques. Not only do I make the physical book, but I also make the content of the book. So for instance, a book I made recently is called Words About Words. I designed the book and then I physically bind it together and make the covers. So in 2019, I was delighted to win the Future Makers Award. It's a really great prize, but moreover, you get a real chance to meet other makers in the field, and that was a really exciting part of it for me. I was delighted to be able to apply for the RDS Craft Awards, having won a Future Makers Award. I found the whole process really useful as an artist, because it really made me think about what I actually wanted to do, and also to have your work shown to experts. Even just applying for the award is well worth it. When I was being interviewed for the award, Roisin Butler, who is a glass artist, she was asking me a lot of really great questions, ones that I found really difficult to answer. After I won the award, I got in touch with her and I emailed her, and about 30 minutes later, she emailed me back to say she'd be delighted to be my mentor. Her guidance, I think, was the most valuable part of the award for me. The mentoring with Roisin really consolidated all the skills that I had. Before the RDS Award, I felt that, I had this craft practice and I had my art practice, and they were very separate things. So Roisin really helped me just bring together all the different strands of my practice and see the value in all the different elements. So in terms of advice that I have for emerging makers, I think it's really good to keep your ear to the ground, listen out for any opportunities and apply for them, even if you don't think you'll get them or not. I actually thought, oh, I haven't a chance of getting the RDS award, and here I am. Other advice would be just to think big and think about what you really want to do, and maybe plan ahead for 5 years or for 10 years. I find that process really, really helpful because it really makes me imagine and have a vision of where I want to be rather than just going from A to B to C.
Dara, it's actually given me goosebumps just listening to Elish's journey. It's just fantastic, and thank you so much. I think your partnership with Future Makers, it just gives such amazing opportunities to our makers. Thank you
so much.
Elish's story, it's so interesting to watch that video, and it's fantastic to hear how the impact of Future Makers has made such a massive impact on her career. I now would like to introduce Frances MacDonald, a contemporary design and craft consultant who was one of the Future Makers 2021 programme judges. So we're going to speak to Frances. She's joining us via Zoom this evening. Frances, welcome, and how are you?
I'm very good, Emer. Thank you.
It's great to have you here today. We're actually very interested in finding out how the judging process actually works, what the criteria used for selecting and shortlisting finalists actually is, and the winners.
Okay, so I will be brief because everybody is waiting to hear who those winners are, Emer. The process began in May last year, and as Rosemary mentioned earlier, there was a very large number of applications. Entries for Future Maker are judged over 2 rounds. So I was one of the first round judges, along with Laura Caffrey from the Irish Design Shop. And the second round judges in 2021 were Gemma Tipton, the writer on contemporary art, design and culture, and the furniture designer maker, Fergal O'Leary. The award winners tonight will receive, there is of course an overall award winner in each of the 2 categories, the student and recent graduates and the emerging maker categories. There are also awards in travel and training and materials, etc. But what is great this year, Emer, is there's a new award which recognises makers who have embedded principles of sustainability into their practice. So it's looking at how they source materials, use making processes that reduce waste, etc. So that's a great addition to Future Makers, I think, this year. The criteria that we looked at, we're obviously looking at skill and technique, an innate understanding of material, creativity, and makers, I think, who strive for excellence. But we have to remember as well that these are makers at the beginning of their creative journey. So you're also looking at people who have the potential to kick on from here, to build a strong creative practice, and who will ultimately benefit from the award they receive. International trends indicate that there's an increasing focus towards making. We have a great making culture in Ireland. I think Future Makers is a very important Design and Crafts Council of Ireland initiative. And it shines a light on emerging makers who will go on to build successful careers. The standard was very high this year. Standard of making. It's all about making and craftsmanship, the variety of materials used. So to conclude, I just want to congratulate all those who are shortlisted, congratulate tonight's winners. We wish everybody well in the future and look forward to seeing their work in galleries, stores and exhibitions for many years to come. Thank you, Emer.
Thank you, Frances. Your input is really beneficial. Thank you. Now, this leads us nicely onto the next part of the night, the moment you have all been waiting for, the announcement of the winners. Firstly, we're going to look at some of the shortlisted work of the finalists. Now, you will see these pieces of work. They are absolutely fantastic. And I have to say a massive congratulations to all of you for making that shortlist, because that was not easy. Absolutely beautiful and stunning pieces there. We have some very, very talented future makers on our hands. Now, without further ado, I would like to welcome DCCI's Chair, Andrew Bradley, to announce the winners. How are you doing, Andrew, and welcome?
I'm great, Emer. Thank you. Very exciting, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Very exciting. So look, I'm honoured and excited to be with you this evening to announce the winners of the 2021 Future Makers Award. Having worked in the sector myself for over 30 years, I understand how important awards are for young designers. I won an award myself for my graduate degree thesis, and I still remember 38 years ago, later, the confidence it gave me at the time. So I'm a big fan of Future Makers, and it's my privilege as the chair of the Design and Craft Council to announce the winners tonight. Future Makers is one of our most popular events and always attracts attention. Every year it gets stronger and stronger and more competitive. The creative work continues to impress and surpass our expectations. I don't know how you do it. And this year we're observing much more attention to sustainable materials and practices, which is very encouraging for the future. Before we start the awards, I'd like to second Rosemary's earlier message that we need to give emerging makers every opportunity to thrive in our sector, while all the time communicating the benefits of a career as a maker. Everyone represented tonight is evidence that a career in craft and design is both possible and desirable. So I'm so excited for all of your futures. And as chair of the Design and Craft Council, I'll continue to do my bit to support you and watch as your career blossoms from the sidelines. So let's begin. I'll start by announcing the winners for the student supports. Winner for the material supports are Clara Salinger, Cleona McLaughlin, John Moss, Louise Cleary, and Sean Brennan. And moving on, the winners of professional development supports are Amber Jones Brangan, Claire Dooley, Kay Woodcock, and Laura Matatique. Winners of the travel and training supports are David Hickey, Leah Cowan, Siobhan McCardle. So congratulations to you all, and I know that these supports mean a lot to students, and I hope winning gives you the confidence to progress your career to the next level. Now moving on to the Emerging Makers Support winners. These are makers who graduated a few years ago and have been working ever since. The exhibition support winner is Claire Holden. Winners for the studio support are Emily Dillon, Eve Doyle, Finton Mulholland, John Farrell, Siobhan O'Sullivan. And the winners for the travel and training supports are Anne-Marie Reinhold, Deirdre Murphy, Eva Lynch, and chauffeur Katri. It's great to see so much fantastic pieces of work. You are really a credit to our sector, and congratulations to you all. So I'm now going to move on to the Sustainability Award winners. The winner of the award in the student category is textile designer Amy Kerr. And we have Amy here on Zoom. Amy, can you hear me?
Hi, yeah, sorry, hi.
So congratulations. How are you feeling?
Thank you so much. I'm over the moon. I can't believe it.
Great. Well, over the moon is great. And tell me, you discovered the potential of UV lighting in your work. How did you realize that?
So my project is inspired by bees, and they see the world in UV light. So I wanted to try and interpret that into my textiles. So in one light, they appear to see, look how we would see the world, and then when they are charged with a UV light, they glow in the dark, and it's kind of an interpretation of what the bees see.
Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Well, Amy, we have a video. We're going to share a video of Amy in her studio.
My name is Amy Kerr, and I have a BA Honours degree in Textile and Surface Design from the National College of Art and Design. My graduate project was inspired by bees and their importance to the ecosystem, and also their incredible ability to see the world in UV light. That kind of inspired a lot of my work, so I created a collection of UV reactive textiles. You look at them in one way in the light, and then in the dark, after being charged with the UV light, they all glow. And I was also really driven by the innovative process of combining craft with technology, so looking at 3D printing, laser cutting, and creating a hybrid and collaborative work with traditional craft. I definitely think my work is very futuristic, and something that I'm kind of quite aware of is some of the things that I'm looking at they're very much in kind of prototype stages. Sustainability is a huge part of my design process, and I wrote my thesis on the use of living organisms and integrating them into creating sustainable textiles. So I was looking at how could I make sustainably glowing textiles, and looking at the likes of bioluminescent organisms like the bioluminescent plankton. If I were to win the Future Makers Award, it would be amazing. It's an honour to get this far and to be shortlisted, so it would definitely help my exposure and publicity for me as an up-and-coming kind of graduate and designer. I think supports like Future Makers and the Arts Craft Council and different things like that are really, really important for young and emerging graduates and artists and designers, because coming out of college, they don't teach you some of the other sides of the world, the real world. I definitely see a bright future, because I think people's attitude is changing towards art and design, and people are really seeing it as a valuable profession and career, and that kind of society doesn't really run without it.
Amazing. I'm sure you'll all agree that work is really fantastic, and I, for one, I'm looking forward to see how her career progresses. So I'd now like to announce the winner of the Sustainability Award in the Emerging Maker category is Lucy O'Brien, a textile weaver. And again, we've got Lucy on the line. Hi, Lucy. Congratulations. Hi. How are you feeling now you've won?
Yeah, I'm thrilled. Thank you so much. It's amazing.
So tell me, Lucy, you are pioneering plant-based yarn. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so my products are made from plant-based yarn. So organic cotton and bamboo and paper yarn are just some of the materials I use.
Well, Lucy, we also have a film. Okay, we also have a video of you in the Mourne Textile Studio, where you're currently doing an apprenticeship. I hope it's going well, and let's see how you're getting on.
Hi, my name is Lucy O'Brien. I'm a textile designer from Dublin, and I hand weave pieces for interiors. So I was always interested in art, but I didn't know what route I wanted to go down. So I was delighted when I got into NCAD, because in first year you get to try different modules, and then in the last 6 weeks you pick what you want to study. So I picked textile surface design. Well, my work is inspired by architecture, so I look at buildings, I try and find repeating patterns that I like or shapes I see in the everyday. So my design process starts with photography, and then I draw from the photos and do collage work and come up with a design that way. All of my products are made from plant-based materials. I don't want to use animal fibres because I want them to be ethically made. I don't want to use any synthetic materials because they aren't biodegradable. So I use organic cotton, linen, and bamboo yarn. I want to explore that more, and I want to explore natural dyeing more. I want my products to be completely traceable. I heard about Future Makers when I was in college. I submitted a wall hanging called Grid, and I entered some table runner samples, and they are made from organic cotton as well, with paper yarn for some samples, and I naturally dyed paper yarn with avocado pits. I think it's quite hard to be an emerging maker. It's hard to start off and not have any support, so I think things like this are really important. Even just being shortlisted is great because you get to be put on this platform and be recognised. I'm going to focus on my apprenticeship now and learn as much as I can, and then my goal would be to set up my own business. So hand weaving and making products for interiors that are completely plant-based and sustainable.
Well done, Lucy. It's great to see a traditional weaving making platform being challenged by yourself with plant-driven yarn. Anyway, now to announce the overall winner in the student category is Katrina Tremmel, a potter. And we also have Katrina on the line. Katrina, how are you? Congratulations. Nice to see you again.
Hello, thank you so much.
How are you reacting to winning tonight?
Oh yeah, I'm a little bit speechless, to be honest. I feel, yeah, it's
Very
amazing.
Good. So tell me, what is it about the potter's wheel that attracted you, Katrina?
Oh, it was just instantly, I started working with it and it just instantly clicked, and I just love the spontaneity of it, and it's like almost like drawing in the air. It's
Great.
Amazing.
Well, we also have a video that was shot of you on the National Design Gallery, the National Design and Craft Gallery in Kilkenny, showing off your beautiful work. So we'll run that now, please.
Hello, my name is Katarina Tremmel and I'm a potter. I grew up in Austria in a small countryside town, and I always grew up making and creating. That was always a really big part of my life. I found clay in evening classes and it instantly clicked. As soon as I sat down at the wheel, I was like, this is what I want to do. Most of my work is wheel thrown. For me, that's like, I love working at the wheel. It's such a nice, spontaneous way of working with clay. It's almost like, I don't know, drawing or sketching in the air. And most of my work is functional. I like making things that can be used in people's homes, but I also enjoy making one-off pieces and stretching the boundaries of usefulness. My making is very much process-led and material-focused. So for me, the materials that I use are very important, and I feel a big responsibility to use them with care and not waste them, and really let them speak for themselves rather than applying lots of ideas from the outside. The pieces I submitted are all wheel-thrown pots. A lot of them use local materials and are glazed with ash glazes that I developed myself. If I won the Future Makers Awards, I would like to use the support to build a wood-fired kiln, because it would really push my making to something that is more coherent with my values. Sustainability is really important for me. I think being a maker in Ireland is great. Like, I find the community absolutely, they're so welcoming. I came here as a stranger and I felt like everybody was so helpful. And I think that Ireland is very proud of its craftspeople. So I see a lot of opportunities here. Some of my pieces are now part of the Made in Ireland exhibition in the National Craft and Design Gallery in Kilkenny. Part of my graduate show has been purchased by the Crafts Council of Ireland for their permanent collection. So I feel very, honoured.
Your work is beautiful, Katrina, and continued success. And now for our final award, the overall winner in the emerging category, Chloe Lennon, a ceramics maker. And we've got Chloe on the line as well. Hi, Chloe.
Hi.
Congratulations. How are you feeling?
Yeah, absolutely honoured for my work to be acknowledged alongside so many amazing Irish makers. Yeah, I'm kind of speechless.
Great. Will you share with us what you're planning to spend the award on?
Yeah, so when I was in college, I used to love working on extremely large scale pieces. But over the last 5-6 years, I haven't been able to do anything because I've been restricted by the size of the kiln that I can run with the electricity in my area. So I'd be hoping to buy a generator so that I have a larger kiln that I could run at last and start getting back to my really large scale sculptural pieces.
Brilliant. Well, we also filmed Chloe working in her studio, so let's have a look at her now.
Hi, my name is Chloe Lennon and I'm a ceramic artist. When I finished school, I went and studied in the National College of Art and Design. When I was in my final year, I started to think that I wanted to get some first-hand experience in a studio, a functional kind of established studio. So I contacted Valeria Nascimento, who has an amazing porcelain installation studio in London, and I went over for an internship and then ended up staying and working there for 4 years with Valeria. It was amazing because when I graduated from college, it didn't really seem like art was something that you could do. So going over and being in a studio that was running for years and really successful, and to see that in person and be part of that was definitely amazing and really made it feel like it was possible. So when I was in London, I got to see amazing exhibitions and meet tons of brilliant artists, but I never really got to do my own work. So eventually I decided that it was time for me to focus on my own practice. So I moved back to Ireland to set up a studio here so that I could progress my own work. The piece that I applied with, Resurgence, is inspired by the landscape around where I live and came from me walking through the bogland, looking at the eroding peat soils and the mosses that grow around there. And that informed the structure of the piece and the collection that piece is from. It would be amazing to win a Future Makers Award, just to be part of the catalogue of artists who have gone through it. There's some amazing work and artists that have been named by Future Makers in the past. I think that when I left college, becoming an artist in Ireland seemed like a fantasy, but after years kind of being surrounded by loads of makers who have done that and have supported themselves, really made me realise that it is completely possible to do, and that places like Future Makers can be such a stepping stone for artists who have large investments at the beginning of your careers in kilns and wood turners and things like that craftspeople need. And Future Makers supports and really make it much more attainable for artists to do this.
It was not just great to get a chance to see each of our winners at work. I'm sure there are many of you jealous out there. I know I am. Finally, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all those who entered this year and congratulate you all on the winners. You must be feeling very proud. On behalf of the Design and Craft Council, we're delighted to see so many graduates from our jewellery and goldsmithing course among the winners tonight. Like all great events the Future Makers has become, we'd not be here tonight without support and the backing of the Department of Enterprise, Trade and Employment and Minister Damien English. Can I offer a big thank you to the Minister from all of you watching tonight, from the winners, from the whole team at the Design and Craft Council. Thank you, Minister. Emer, back to you.
Thank you, Andrew. And thank you to you all. What an achievement. Some spectacular pieces there. To see the talent here in Ireland is just exceptional. And your ability to use sustainable materials is inspiring. With that, it concludes our awards ceremony this evening. And on behalf of the Design and Crafts Council Ireland, we thank you for joining us this evening. Congratulations to all of the winners. DCCI will be in touch with you in the coming days. Keep sharing your photographs of you celebrating your success and tag at DCC Ireland, and use the hashtags #DCCI Future Makers and #Future Makers 2021. Thank you to you all, and good night.